Hello Gunpla fans, this is Joe of JoesGunpla here with another video, and today I'm doing a review. This is my custom MS-06V Zaku Viscera. And it is just the normal mass production Zaku 2 of the high-grade Universal Century line with a custom paint job. It was smashed with a hammer, glued back together, did some various artistic things with the glue, and I also gave it some hobby-based mechanical hands, the fully posable ones. So let's get into articulation. And now it does have all of the same articulation as the original kit. The hammer smashing surprisingly did not affect it. Okay, the paint, however, has tightened up the joints quite a bit. So, the head is on a ball joint, and we'll go side to side a little bit, like this. Full 360. And the base of the neck is on a hinge, so it'll go forward and back. The shield is on a ball joint. We'll rotate 360, swing back and forth, up and down, and anywhere in between. The pauldron shoulder here is on a hinge, and will flip out like this. And I suppose if you wanted to, you could turn it back and forth thusly. Each of the shoulders has a sliding hinge in the chest, allowing it to come forward like this. It's also on a peg, so we'll go 360 there. And if you flip out the shoulder, we'll go about a little past 90 degrees. There is a 360 turn below the shoulder. Elbows bend to about 90 degrees. The normal hands are just on a ball joint, as are these guys. The hobby base hands, like I said, they're fully posable. Each knuckle will bend just like a normal hand, a person's hand. And there's a hinge at the wrist, so it will go out like that. And go in like that. There is no waist movement. The skirt armor on the side goes out that far. The front armor will flip out about that far. And these are together. It'd be really difficult to separate them without causing some aesthetic issues here in the front. Let's see. Hips are on a ball joint. They will go out about that far. All told, if you get the skirt armor out of the way, come up about that far, and then we'll go back about that far. The back skirt armor does not move. 2 hinges in the knee, giving it about a 90-degree angle. And the ankles are really interesting. I'm going to pop this out here like this. There is a hinge up inside the leg. I don't know if you can see it. A second hinge here. Again, I don't know if you can see it right there. And then a ball joint base, allowing for some crazy maneuvers like this. But it also allows you to pop out the foot a little bit and get some crazy wide stances. So let me see if I can kind of... You don't need to necessarily pop them out all that far. But all in all, for the age of the kit, that's a pretty decent stance. The hips won't go much further anyway, so. Okay. Accessories on this kit, I did not finish all the weapons because I didn't want him to have... Really, I didn't want him to have any eventually, but I decided just to do the holster here which pops into the skirt armor. I think that's in all the way. And the heat hawk. Okay, and this will, just like on the original kit, slide, oops, if I can get here, there we go, slide in like that. And sits rather nicely on its hip. So, there you have it there. So as you can see, articulation is not hindered at all by the, I don't know if you call them modifications that I did, but there are some slight modifications. So, let's go over the custom work that I did, because this was a custom kit, and that's kind of the point of this. The paint scheme has a bit of a backstory to it, as does the damage here in the chest, the crotch piece, the blood, the backpack. Here, there's some up on the neck. Let me pop this out off here. You can see some there. And a little bit more on the side here. So, this kit and another kit which I'll be reviewing next, they were the first two kits that I gave to my ex-fiance to build, to get her sort of interested in the hobby. She was curious and wanted to join me in a build. So I gave her this and another kit, and she built them, sparked interest. She's now got, at least I don't know if she kept it, but she has a decent collection. But upon our split, she gave this kit and the other kit back. The first two kits I ever gave her out of my personal collection, and I smashed them with a hammer. Kind of turned them into a cathartic art project. So, the paint scheme, basically what I did was I first painted all of the armor white, and I used Tester's flat white, Model Master's flat white. There's a slight difference in their paint consistency. Did about 7 layers hand brushing with this guy to get the white to cover completely. The joints, except for the hands, the holster, and the heat hawk, I used Model Master's gunmetal. For the gold repair, I just used Model Master gold with plastic cement and glued everything back together. Let's see. The dark blood red in the chest here. Actually, I think it'd be better if I moved my camera, just for lighting's sake. There we go. Let's see. The blood red, I used Tester's red, a touch of brown, and a little bit of black to get the darker colors here. The lighter red, which is also on the palm of the hands, the back of this hand, and here on the shield. Also the blade here, a little bit on the handle, was clear acrylic red, because I wanted that really bright color. So the white was sort of it's sort of symbolic of the purity and the faith of trust I had in the relationship. The wounds, of course, is the pain inflicted from the breakup, and the blood on the palm of the hands. Let me see if I can get that hand back open. These are rather fragile. I'm trying not to move them too much. You know, that sort of represents that, you know, I was hurt, but there's blood on my hands too. So, you know, sort of a symbolic admittance that, you know, I wasn't perfect, she wasn't perfect, and it fell apart for, you know, reasons. The shield was, and I tried to get it off, these lines here, I penciled in some lines just so I could get the spacing correctly, and then by the time I had painted these on here and tried to erase the pencil, I couldn't, it wouldn't come off completely. So, and I didn't have much faith in my ability to paint back over them, so I decided they were light enough I was just going to leave it. And, I mean, there are other flaws in the paint job too, so I guess I didn't care to get it perfect. But anyway, the Japanese writing is, I had a friend of mine help me out. He helped me pick the exact kanji that I wanted to express the exact meanings I was looking for. So the first one is love, then hate, sex, and pain. And yes, that is a Godsmack song. But I felt that those words sort of really embodied the emotional feelings I was trying to get in this paint job, in this particular work. One cool thing that I wanted to show off was the mono eye. And this is sort of a neat trick that I think I might use in just, normal building. The excuse me. The first thing I did was I took a little dot of white and then a larger dot of silver over that and sort of blended it outward in a circular motion to try and fade it. I put another dot of white right in the center, and then over that I put a large circle of clear red, and it kind of looks like it's fading out, because I didn't want it to be too bright, otherwise I would have done just pink. But I think it worked out pretty well. It looks sort of like it's fading out. The whole kit was given a high gloss finish using Rust-Oleum's Lacquer High Gloss. I recommend, well, first off, when you're painting with enamel and you want to give it a lacquer top coat, you have to be careful anyway, because lacquer eats whatever's underneath of it, which I already knew, and I knew there would be a risk in doing that. But if you make sure, number one, that the enamel is completely cured, and then you spray the lacquer on very lightly at first, so the enamel sort of gets used to the heat or the bite of the lacquer, you can usually build up the layers until you have a decent finish. First time I did the shield, and a little bit on the foot, I had to do some touch-up work. The paint on the shield just crinkled and crackled completely. It was just a mess, which I almost left, but then I realized that the kanji that I did on there the first time wasn't what I was looking for. So, I think that's all I wanted to show with this kit, the paint job and whatnot. I recommend, first of all, the high-grade Zaku is a fantastic kit in its own right. But I'm really happy with the work I did on this guy. I think it really captures the raw emotions that someone feels after a bad breakup. Especially the feelings that I felt after, losing the person that I thought I was going to spend, conceivably the rest of my life with. But that's pretty much the kit in a nutshell. It pairs very nicely with the other custom I did, which I will be showing in the next review. So, I think that's it for now. And until next time, guys, happy building.